Assalamu alaikum guys, this is Usama bin Amir with another video of Atomic Habits. I have explained introduction in the previous video. If you wanna get to know the book and get to know author, you can go and watch that video. It's on my channel. You can search that. Now today I want to talk about first part. As we discussed part wise things, I describe things like the fundamentals are something that is basic. You have something like called foundation. For example, if you are building a house, you have to actually put a lot of effort in the foundation. Without foundation, your house can actually be destroyed without any of the disasters coming in. So the fundamentals really talk about the small things, or it's kind of, we can say, it's these are basics. For example, what is the basics of science? Science has like a definition, and then it has three branches. So it's the fundamental, the basics. So this book's fundamentals. Is part one is its fundamentals. In fundamentals, author really describes why tiny changes make a big difference. you know you make small changes, and those small changes combine and impact your life, in various aspects. And majority of us still don't understand the power of small habits, the power that they contain. It's kind of a atomic bomb. Atoms are small, but when we split up them, break them down, they produce immense amount of energy. So if we build these small tiny changes, if we change our life a little bit, it can impact our life very, very, uniquely and vastly. So vast aspect, or the bigger aspect of life, should be broken down into small parts. That's what the fundamentals are. So the surprising power of Atomic Habits is the chapter's name that we are going to discuss today. It has almost four subheadings within it. Author mainly explains a story in the start, which is a British cyclist's story, and it explains like what happened to them when they made small changes. They were losing a lot basically, but through small changes they were able to get success. Then author explains the idea why small habits make a big difference. It's a full complete uh, you know heading. Author explains that basically it's the idea that 1% better every day. you know it's like, I can show you the diagram. It's like 1%. If we improve 1%, our graph will go this way up. And if we lose 1% every day, there will be a zero decline to zero. So we will discuss that, inshallah tabaraka wa ta'ala. Then the main concept I think that we can take from this particular chapter would be: your habits can compound for you or against you. Habits, they are neutral. You can make them positive, you can make them negative. They can turn against you, or they can work for you. What progress really look like? This is also something very interesting to me, because this plateau shows the latent potential. What we think is that our graph should go straight for sorry our graph should go straight forward, as you can see in this line. Our graph should go this way, straight line. But in real, progress happens this way. It takes until this point you are unable to identify anything positive, and you are under the average of expectations that you have, and then the graph goes up there, and it has no limits. Then author also explains, in a full heading, like the name of the heading is "Forget about goals, focus on systems instead." It's a very interesting argument author made. A system of atomic habits is the last heading. Now we discuss headings in detail. In first the first chapter, author explains a story of a British cyclist. Basically, they were losing a lot. They were not winning. British cyclist, no medal in 110 years. So you can imagine how worse their performance was. And then worst, it was one of the worst performances in the world, perhaps. And then it was so bad that companies around the world were not actually sponsoring or were not actually allowing them to use their bicycles, because they that would actually cause them less sales. But there come a coach. That coach made small changes. It was like so small that you and I would say no, like what's that? For example, changing the seat, changing the soap was to avoid common cold, painting the trucks so that cyclists could actually trace, sorry, so that cyclists could trace that the dust is there, so they could remove, so that it could not harm their newly brought bicycles. And they made so many small changes, and imagine what happened. Those small changes start bringing changes, results in the favor of British cyclists. And you know what, the results were actually extraordinary. For example, a team who hadn't won a single medal in 2 years, in 110 years, the same team, after after 5 years of that particular small changes, in 2008 Olympics, they won 16% of gold medals available. 4 years later, when Olympics games came to London, the British record like and 7 world records, set 9 Olympic records and 7 world records. The same year, the British cyclist win the Tour de France. The next year, the teammate Charles Froome won the race, and he would gone on to win again 2015, in 2016, in 2017. They totally win 6 years that particular race. During this 10-year span from 2007 to 2017, British cyclists won 178 world championships and 60 Olympic and Paralympic gold medals. You can see how these small changes worked. Then author explains why small changes have big impact. And I have explained you that it's like this. If we improve 1% every single day, our graph will go this way. After 1 year, we will be 37% improved. So this is like, it's really that author gives an analogy. For example, an aircraft is flying. Imagine that the aircraft changes his nose direction a little bit. Now this same aircraft is gonna land at completely somewhere else. So this is also something that small habits, if we use for our purpose, they will take you to, if small habits are actually diverting ourselves from our path, we are gonna actually be in trouble. Then there are positive compounding and negative compounding of habits. If we use habits for ourselves, if we use our habits for our purpose, if they combine for ourselves, they are going to have a large big impact on our life, right? But if they're going to actually go against us, they would have a very big impact. In we will be negative all the time because of them. For example, productivity compounds. The effect of automating an old task or mastering a new skill can be even greater the more tasks you can handle without thinking. This is what that really is. Making things automatic. Making things automatic, but they're small. You don't have to go deeper and deeper. What really progress looks like, what we imagine is a straight graph, going up, but that's not how it happens. We have to go like this. We have to suffer a lot until we get to this point where we get our expectations. It's very of disappointment basically. So we have to think about that. Forget about goals, focus on systems instead. Goals have problems, basically three problems author explains. Winners and losers have the same goal. Achieving a goal is only a momentary change. Goals are at odds with long-term progress. These things forces us to talk about systems instead. A system of atomic habits, small habits. These are like small problems that you face every single day. And author says it's like the goal is not to read a book, it's to become a reader. Small tiny atomic habits would actually cause. Now I'm going to explain summary to you, and I hope that you will get something. Habits are the compound interest of self improvement. Getting 1% better every day counts for a lot in long run. Habits are double-edged sword. They can work for you or against you, which is why understanding the details is essential. Small habits often appear to make no difference until you cross a critical threshold. The most powerful outcomes of any compounding process are delayed. You need to be patient. An atomic habit is a little habit that is part of a larger system. Just as atoms are the building blocks of molecules, atomic habits are the building blocks of remarkable results. If you want to better results, if you want better results, then forget about goals. Focus on systems instead. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your system. With that note, may Allah bless you with good health. Usama bin Amir out.